Okay, so now we are moving on to my blue and green drawer of palettes. And let's start with this one because I literally just reviewed it recently and put it in my ranking. It was one of the most high ranking palettes that I had that month. This is the Clarity Cosmetics Evil Mermaid palette. I love this. The packaging is phenomenal. It's got like skulls made out of little scales. The actual color story is so beautiful, so I'm definitely keeping this one. The other one from Clarity Cosmetics that I have is the Cobra palette. Again, super pretty. I love these like very smoked out tones, so I'll be keeping her as well. Love Luxe Beauty Pretty Powerful palette. This one is so pretty. If you can get your hands on this like half price, I definitely would. This shade, this shade, this shade, and this shade have these pressed iridescent flakes into them. The mattes are super buttery. These two metallics are stunning, so definitely hanging on to that. Menagerie Cosmetics Whale Song palette. This stains. This stains so much. But I do think it's really pretty. I love the two metallics that are down here. This shade I kind of feel like doesn't really fit with the rest of the palette because everything is kind of this like grungy kind of tones, and then this is like really icy. So that one I don't think fits necessarily, but I do like the color story in the packaging, so I'm going to hang on to that. Got some Profusion palettes here. This is the Sapphires palette. Again, probably don't need to keep all of these after I do my ranking, but I do want to try this one out a little bit more before I decide, so I'm keeping that. And the Emeralds. I really like this one. This is the first one that I tried, and once I realized how good they were, then I went out and bought a ton of other ones. But I do really like this one. That's a really pretty gold shade right there. That's really pretty. Okay, but definitely going to hang on to this one as well. This Revolution palette. I feel like I have other things in my collection that kind of are similar to this that I can let this one go. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. I have the Glam Shop W Moreau palette, which looks like this. It has these really pretty like pressed flaky shades in it, and then some more traditional metallics here, and then you've got some really pretty mattes. I like this one a lot, and I haven't used it very much, so I'm going to hang on to that for sure. I haven't placed any orders though recently from Glam Shop because I've heard some things about them like refusing to replace lost packages because they think it's like a scam. So I'm very hesitant to purchase from them again, so I haven't. Alright, I think this is the only palette I have left from Peachy Queen, and it's the Tiffany's palette, which I'm sure they pulled because they didn't have the royalties to be able to say that, but whatever. I like this palette a lot. I think these two shades are too similar. I think these two shades are too similar for the way that they actually show up on the lids, so I think they could have done something a little different here. I would have personally taken these two out and kept those two, but whatever. Metallics are very pretty, so I'm going to keep that one. Then I have the Nomad Lago de Como palette, and that looks like this. Very beautiful color story. I love this palette so much. This navy shade I play with every single time I go into this palette, so I'm going to hang on to that one. And then I have the BH Cosmetics Avocado Toast palette, which looks like this. And I don't even think I've actually played with this one yet, but it looks so pretty. Oh, yeah. Look at that beautiful green. Yeah, definitely going to be hanging on to this one. I need to play with this one. I'm going to set it into a pile where I have palettes that I need to play with yet. This, the Ofra Cosmetics, what is this called? Empowered palette. I actually got this one free whenever I placed an order, but I had been wanting to pick this palette up for a while, and the fact that it was like offered free if I picked up something else, I was like, okay, well then I guess I'll just pick up something else and then get this one for free. I do think it's pretty. I like the shimmer here in the center, but I don't think I need to keep a palette just for one shimmery shade, so I think I'll probably let this one go since it's unused. Let's talk next about Ace Beauté Tropical Vibes palette. Very pretty color story. I do really like the formula in this one. This is the new formula, and the shimmers are just so buttery in this, like compared to the old formula, that if they are really like this in reformulating the other ones, I definitely want to pick up the other palettes, but I don't know if that's actually the case or not, so I'm kind of waiting it out to see because they're expensive. and Genesis palette. This is one from Midas Cosmetics and Drench Cosmetics, which looks like this. It's a really beautiful color story. I love this like denim-y dark blue shade here. I'm definitely going to hang on to this palette. This is much better quality than that Lemonade Monstrosity. This one. This is Trixie Cosmetics Plain Gay. This is probably the last palette that I picked up from them before they started getting like really merchy with their makeup. I don't like these organic biodegradable glitter things at all. They're very like gritty and weird feeling. But the rest of the color story is very nice. I love the pinks and then this like blue-green row here. This is such a beautiful shimmer, so I'm going to hang on to this one. And I actually really like the outer packaging carton of this, so I keep it because the inside is like very loud and bright, but I actually really like this kind of like craft paper brown with the green metallic on it. I think it looks really cool, so I'm going to keep that. This is the Smoke and Mirrors Revolution palette, which looks like this, and it is so pretty. I love using this palette. I love all the blues in here, so definitely going to hang on to that one. The Encanto palette. This one ranked a little lower because I think like these two shades were kind of redundant. These two shades are kind of redundant. So I think they could have done a little bit more with this color story, but I do think the actual color story is very nice and I love the quality of these shimmers. So I'm going to hang on to that. Plus I think my kids would disown me if I got rid of it. They love Encanto so much. Alright, I've got two more of the Sweet Shop palettes. This is the Pistachio palette, which looks like that. Probably my very favorite because I love the shimmers in that one. And then the Bubblegum palette, which is the blue one, looks like that. Very pretty. I love this shade here and that shade. They're so buttery and silky smooth. Yes, yes, good stuff. Then I have the Starry Starry Night palette from Storybook Cosmetics. This was like years in the making. It comes with this cute little drawer, which I've never actually put anything in, but I think it's kind of cool that they did that. So if you were traveling, you could like throw some stuff in there. But the actual color story looks like this. This silver is phenomenal. This orange is really pretty. These blues are really pretty. So I'm definitely going to be hanging on to that one. And I think they did a good job on the packaging. For how long everybody was waiting for that palette, they did a really good job. Alright, then I have the Woma Beauty Allure palette, which looks like this. And this is their older formula, so it has these kind of like, this one is a softer metallic, but the rest of these are kind of like a grittier metallic that are like, almost like a pressed glitter. So you can see when you put them out, like, you get a lot of sparkle, but you don't necessarily get a lot of like base coat there. So I don't really know, I don't really think I like that too much, but I do like this golden shade here. I'm going to put that off to the side and think about it because I may not need to keep that one. This is the Beauty Bay Wilderness palette, which I used like 2 summers ago at the beach. 2 summers ago? Last summer? Maybe last summer. I really like this palette. I do think it's very pretty. I love the blues in here. You've got like some nice mints in here. It's supposed to be similar colors to the Melt Amore Eterno collection that everybody's like sad about losing. So there are some similar colors here. I'm not sure you have the entire color story, but definitely some similar stuff. And I love the packaging. I think it's really, really pretty. And then I have Book of Magic, which started my love affair with the Beauty Bay formula. This one is so nice. I love, like, this shade in here has such a pretty, like, reflectiveness to it. This beautiful, like, inky bluish black is very pretty. I love the colors in here. I ignore the heck out of these neutrals. Because, like, warm tone neutrals and golds are really not my thing. But the rest of this palette just, like, sings to me. And you can see that color right there. Like, so much reflectivity. Alright, this is the Hasina 2 from Blush Tribe, which is no longer in business. They actually went out of business like right after I bought this, so I was glad I actually got it. I do really like this. I haven't played with it as much as I should, so I'm definitely going to hang on to it. Plus the packaging is so cool. Like, I love this sort of like geometric girl's face here. Very cool. And then this is the Ace Beauté Oceanic palette, which looks like this. This is the other one that I'm thinking about picking up again if the formula is really like markedly better, because I think this is such a cute color story. I really love this soft like periwinkle blue here, so definitely going to keep that one. And then the last one in this drawer is the Cara Beauty. This is like the Make a Statement issue 3 palette. They're supposed to look like magazines, and it looks like this. I really like this palette. These kind of like swampy shades here and these shades here are really, really pretty. I don't care too much about the oranges and pinks there, but I think these rows are really pretty. But now that I have the Cara Beauty palettes, I wonder if I need those. Because I feel like if I'm going to always go for the Cara Beauty palettes, then I don't need, or the Clarity Cosmetics, sorry. If I'm always going to go for the Clarity Cosmetics palettes, then I don't need to keep the Cara Beauty palette just to like say I have it. You know what I mean? So I feel like these two shades and these two shades are similar. I don't really have anything that dupes that in this palette, but I do in other things in my collection. This blue shade here, this kind of blue purple, similar to this purple. I don't really, actually these two are pretty similar, and then this teal color is probably most similar to that. So I think everything that I liked in here I actually have in these two palettes, so I'm going to go ahead and let the Cara Beauty palette go. Alright, and that's everything for this collection. Definitely make sure you like and subscribe. We're going to be having some more palette videos coming up soon, and you're not going to want to miss it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.